What if I told you that in two powerful regions of the world, India and South Africa, what a woman wears can define her status, her worth, and even her freedom? One culture wraps its women in vibrant sarees, covering their bodies in layers of modesty. The other celebrates the human form openly, where toplessness isn't taboo, it's tradition. This isn't just about fashion. It's about identity, pride, oppression, and expression. Today, we take you deep into the world of India and South Africa, and the women who live in two very different versions of freedom. Beauty and modesty across cultures. Let's begin with beauty. In India, beauty is often wrapped in silk. A saree is more than fabric, it's a symbol of grace, culture, and discipline. From a young age, Indian girls are taught to dress modestly, to protect their virtue, to avoid the male gaze. Anklets, bangles, nose rings, every accessory tells a story of tradition and dignity. Now, travel thousands of miles to tribal South Africa. In villages of the Himba, Zulu, or Venda people, women express their beauty through the body itself. Ochre-covered skin glows under the sun. Breasts are not hidden, they are celebrated. Body paint, beads, and bare skin form a look that's not meant to entice, but to express. In one world, beauty is about how well you cover. In the other, it's about how freely you reveal. Clothing, shame, and society. For Indian women, covering up is protection. Not just from weather, but from judgment. From danger. From dishonor. A short blouse, a visible shoulder, or a lifted sari palla can invite criticism or worse. Many women internalize this shame, believing modesty equals morality. But for tribal women in South Africa, there is no such equation. A bare chest isn't immoral. It's natural. Girls walk topless from childhood to adulthood. No one stares. No one shames. No one sexualizes the female form. It's simply part of everyday life. This isn't to say one culture is better, but it forces us to ask, why do we associate nudity with shame in one place and with pride in another? What if shame isn't about the body, but about the eyes that judge it? The role of rituals and girlhood to womanhood. In India, a girl's transition into womanhood is marked quietly, often with her first period, her first saree, and sometimes silence. It's sacred, yes, but hidden. Her body is changing, but she's told not to speak of it loudly. In South Africa's tribal lands, the transition is louder. A girl may receive her first beads, a skirt, or a painted chest. Ceremonies are held. Songs are sung. The community celebrates her growth. Her changing body is not a secret. It's a source of celebration. Where one girl learns to cover her chest, another learns to paint it. Religion versus tribal spirituality. Religion plays a huge role in India. Hindu traditions place the woman on a pedestal, as goddess, as mother, but often expect her to remain pure, untouched, veiled. The idea of sexuality is sacred, but repressed. Even in modern homes, sex is whispered about. In South African tribes, spirituality is closely tied to nature and the body. Fertility, love, birth, and death are all part of open rituals. Tribe sex ceremonies exist, not as pornography, but as communal traditions tied to nature and the ancestors. Eroticism isn't hidden, it's integrated. In one culture, sex is divine but secret. In the other, it's divine and shared. When outsiders judge or misunderstand, here's where things get messy. Westerners often look at tribal women and search for naked tribe, topless girls, or worse, tribe sex, African porn. But what they find is not what they understand. The Himba woman walking topless is not performing. She's living. Meanwhile, Indian women posting a photo in a swimsuit are trolled, shamed, and called vulgar, even when they're fully clothed compared to tribal women. This double standard reveals more about us than them. It shows how little we understand cultural context, freedom, and expression. We've sexualized what's sacred, and judged what's free. Cultural power, and dressing with purpose. In India, the saree is powerful. It represents culture, femininity, and even resistance. But it also binds. A woman in jeans might be told she's asking for it. A woman in a miniskirt might face violence. In tribal South Africa, a woman might wear only beads, but no one dares touch her without consent. Her body isn't an invitation, it's her power. These aren't just dresses or beads. They're statements. Their survival. Their identity. Freedom isn't what you wear. It's what wearing it means. In traditional Indian households, especially in rural regions, the concept of purity before marriage still holds strong influence. Many young women are taught to be reserved in public, dress modestly, and observe specific social boundaries. These values are often rooted in Hindu beliefs about karma, honor, and duty to one's family. Sexuality is often seen as sacred, something to be shared only after marriage, and surrounded by rituals that bless the union. What we can learn from both. So what does this all mean for us watching behind screens, far from these two worlds? Maybe freedom isn't universal. Maybe one woman's shame is another's pride. Maybe Indian women are overcovered because they're overcriticized. Maybe African tribal women are undercovered because they're unafraid. What would happen if we stopped projecting our standards onto others? If we let bodies be bodies, and let culture express without censorship? This isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about asking better questions. In many rural Indian communities, tradition plays a guiding role in defining a woman's place in society. From a young age, girls are taught the values of modesty, family honor, and spiritual purity. Marriage is often seen as a sacred duty, sometimes arranged by families, and ceremonies are deeply rooted in religious and cultural symbolism. Red bridal sarees, sacred fire rituals, and lifelong vows symbolize not just love, but unity of families and generations. Now let's shift our focus to South Africa, where traditions vary widely among tribes, each with its own history, beliefs, and customs. In some indigenous communities, femininity is expressed more openly and naturally. Women may walk bare-chested, not as an act of rebellion, but as a reflection of cultural identity and comfort with the human body. These customs are not sexualized locally. Instead, they are seen as expressions of pride, connection with nature, and ancestral heritage. Among tribes like the Zulu or Xhosa, rites of passage into womanhood are celebrated with dance, music, and storytelling. These moments are communal, filled with joy and rhythm, and often focus on strength, fertility, and the role of women as life-givers and protectors of culture. It's important to note, either culture is backward or advanced. Both reflect the values and wisdom passed down over centuries. In India, tradition is tied closely to religion and family structure. In South Africa, tradition often emphasizes freedom, nature, and ancestral connection. Like this video if it made you think differently? Comment below, do you think modesty is cultural or natural? Subscribe for more stories that open your mind and challenge your view of the world. Stay curious. Stay human. Stay free.